it's a big show.
Welcome to the Fade Route
It's a big bad show tonight.
with DNZ.
Yeah, it's a big show.
Here are your hosts,
Cracking up, telling them lies.
DNZ. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Fade Route with DNZ. I am ZN. We got a great show for you. New York is in the win column. Jimmy G is back on the field. And we're debating all of the stud Alabama quarterbacks that are currently in the NFL. Who's the best? But we're going to find out later. But here's a scenario that is not the best. One, Robert Sarver. He owns the Suns in the NBA. He owns the Mercury of the WNBA. And he announced today that he's begun the process to sell both of those teams. He is coming off of his one-year suspension announcement, along with a $10 million fine that came down from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for repeated misogynistic and racially motivated incidents over the course of his 17 years as owner of the Suns. And while part of me is like, good riddance, like you need fewer people like Robert Sarver in positions of power, the other part of me is like, he's going to benefit, right? You sell the team, you're going to make a profit. So essentially, he's making bank off of his bad behavior. And that doesn't sit right to me. You know, direct quote from Mr. Sarver from his statement today. As a man of faith, I believe in atonement and the path to forgiveness. I expected that the commissioner's one-year suspension would provide the time for me to focus, make amends, and remove my personal controversy from the teams that I and so many fans love. But in our current unforgiving climate, it has become painfully clear that that is no longer possible. That whatever good I have done or could still do is outweighed by things I've said in the past. For those reasons, I am beginning the process of seeking buyers for the Suns and Mercury. Really? It's atonement? You don't want to be a distraction? Or do you really see the dollar signs in front of your eyes, Mr. Sarver? Is that what's going on? I think it's more of the latter than the former. And it's a little false contrition, in my opinion. The minority owner of the team has already called for Sarver to sell. And it sounds like the court of public opinion has put the necessary pressure on Mr. Sarver to allow him to come to this decision in a faster manner than he probably would have liked. But it doesn't sit right with me that he is going to profit off of his bad behavior. But that's sports nowadays. And here he is. I've known this guy since our days on Carousel Shoes, flight crew through and through, the last QB in St. John's history. What's up, D? How's it going, man?
Hey, you know, I hear what you're saying, but I think the bigger loss here is that he's no longer going to have two professional sports franchises. And let's be real, in his echelon of the amount of money he has, you know, he didn't opt for the yachts. He didn't opt for the houses. He opted for a professional team. So amongst his, you know, business associates, amongst his friends, he's the guy without the team. You know, and you're right. He's gonna benefit lucratively. I hear that Bob Iger and Jeff Bezos are already interested in getting the Suns, and they're gonna pay a top dollar for an Arizona team. I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen. This guy's got 3 kids. This guy's married. You would just hope that he realizes at some point he can't talk like that, and you can't treat people that way. And I don't think he's gonna look at it as, okay, yeah, I sold the team and I made X amount of dollars. I think he's gonna be really frustrated and pissed off that he's got to give up something that he enjoys. He didn't win a championship. He's not going to be going to games. He's not going to be in that arena anymore. But even bigger deal is, I think, people were throwing shade at Adam Silver for him not, getting involved more than he did. But we've spoke on this show a bunch of times on how the NBA is run by the players. And, the players put pressure on the owners. The owners put pressure on each other. And they got this deal done. Yeah, it's a parachute for Adam Silver, sure. But, I think it's a good step in the right direction, saying this behavior is not going to be tolerated moving forward. So if you have this kind of behavior, it's going to come out. People are going to find out about it. You're not going to be welcome here anymore.
Yeah. Well, it just creates, in my mind, it also creates a new controversy, right? Because Sarver's not going to be around anymore. Now it's going to be the specter of, who's going to buy the team? Like, that's going to be an overarching theme that's going to, like, cast a cloud over the Suns. And will kind of, I don't expect the Suns to underperform this year. That team is still very good. It's still very loaded, and they will make noise in the Western Conference. But if they were to take a hypothetical slide, they have a built-in out. They have a built-in excuse. We have this cloud over not knowing what's going to happen with our ownership and what,
Sure.
And yeah, that's something that's going to hang over this season. It's going to cast a pall over this season. And, Chris Paul's a pro. Like, at this point, you don't get to be, the head of the players union without being a pro and understanding the business side of it. But you still get some young guys on this team who it may affect. You have Booker, you have Ayton, you have guys that aren't as settled as Chris Paul, and they might hear these things, and it might affect their play. And we just have to see where this goes. Jeff Bezos is very interesting. Like that, he's a billionaire. Like, Jeff Bezos is a legit billionaire. So it makes you wonder how he would treat this kind of project. Is this really a passion project for him? Or is this like a new toy? Is this something that, he'll hold on to for a few years and then lose interest in? Or will it just kind of like fall to the wayside eventually? Like, kind of like the Washington Post is just like there. It's not as big as Amazon. It's, he's moved on to the rocket, the penis-shaped rocket. So, is this going to be a flash in the pan in terms of interest for him, or is this something where he's going to have staying power?
Yeah, to me, these guys nowadays, it's just a way for them to spend money. It's a way for them to spend money, invest their funds, make some money on it. Look at the empires that, like, Jerry Jones has built. Look at the empires that the Angels owner Artie Moreno has done. Look at what the guy from the Rams, Kroenke, holy shit. That's what this is. It's, most of these guys that are in it now, they're in it for the long haul. They're not looking to leave anytime soon. They're just going to keep making money and making money. Sports is a big business.
Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. But you know what's better than a brownie? A delicious, handcrafted, gourmet brownie delivered right to your doorstep. That's what our guys at Sweet Life Brownie Co. offer. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave, from the classic OB to Dutch apple to campfire s'mores and many more. Check out their website, sweetlifebrownieco.com, for their Friday brownie drops. At noon, their site goes live and you see what they're making. Since you're there, become a site member and earn points. You earn 50 points just by signing up. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook too at sweetlifebrownie_co for the latest updates and their latest releases and creations. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com. Give them a call, 845-641-3043, and tell them D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co., because there's always room for a brownie.
But Sarver was definitely a national story. But listen, we are a New York-based podcast. And man, the New York team showed up this weekend for the first time in, I think, 13 years. The Jets, Giants, Mets, and Yankees all won on Sunday. And, you know, the Giants beat the Panthers 19-16 to start the season 2-0. While the Jets came back from 2 scores down with 2 minutes left in the game to beat the Browns in Cleveland. Which win was more important?
Important is an interesting word. I'm going to go with what impressed me, and then I'll work backward. The Giants holding on to this lead, right? Graham Gano, Special Teams Player of the Week. Congratulations, Graham. Nice job. Keep it up. Best offensive player on the team, not named Saquon Barkley. So, the Giants, without Leonard Williams, without Azeez Ojulari, without Kayvon Thibodeau, were able to stifle Christian McCaffrey, right? 128 all-purpose yards. How many touchdowns? 0. Zero. So, a mixed bag if you guys listen to the red light, green light, and frankly, you should. It's good stuff. But you keep a guy like McCaffrey out of the end zone, I'd say you have a pretty good day. Daniel Jones didn't embarrass himself. 22 of 34, 176 yards, a touchdown, right? Respectable numbers, kind of like in the Geno Smith vein. Saquon, not as good of a game, a little bit of a slide, but Carolina played tough. Carolina played hard. 72 total yards for Saquon. And a good all-around team win. They contained McCaffrey. They contained Baker Mayfield. And all in all, as a Giant fan, like, I am happy. I am very pleased with what I see. For the first time, I turned to my girl and I said, this is Giant football. For the first time in 6 years, this is New York Giant football. It looks like New York Giant football. It feels like New York Giant football. Like, that's great. That makes me super confident in Coach Dayball. It makes me super confident in this defense with Wink Martindale. I think that they really can make hay while the sun is shining. Yes, the Cowboys won with Cooper Rush last week. Is that sustainable? I don't think so. So they could be in this mix. And this NFC East can be better than we thought it was. Speaking on the Jets. Now, a lot of this is on the Browns. Like, Flacco had a really good game, right? Even without the chicanery at the end. 307, 4 touchdowns. Breece Hall looked good. But it all comes down to the end. 2-minute warning. Nick Chubb, what are you doing? The Jets have no timeouts left.
He's got himself on his fantasy team.
Oh, is that what it is? That could be it. That could very well be it. But you are in position to ice this game, gain the 10, gain the first down, and take a knee. Give it up. Instead, you Ahmad Bradshaw into the end zone. At least, actually, no. Ahmad Bradshaw was trying to stop himself. And he fell ass backwards into the end zone. You legitimately ran into the end zone and gave the Jets plenty of time and plenty of opportunity. Now, the Jets seized the moment, right? Touchdown. Onside kick. Touchdown. Jets did it. Congratulations. I don't know about these receipts that you were talking about, because I don't think you've I don't think you've cashed all of those in yet. But for me, the Jets hung around, and the Browns gave it to them on the silver platter, and the Jets took it.
So, question for you is, after Flacco played so well yesterday or on Sunday, is he the starter when Zach Wilson is ready to play?
Well, when is Zach Wilson ready to play? If it's this Sunday, no. If it's next,
let's say
give me a number.
Jets are 3-1.
Okay.
Heading into the game 5, Zach Wilson's at 90%.
Get nice and healed up. Get nice and healed up, Zach. You're good. You are good. Let Flacco take it until he falters. Now, with Joe Flacco, that could be this weekend.
Well, I mean, here's what I'm going to say. I think, yeah, me personally, I think the Giants 2-0 start is grand, right? It's especially impressive because now you have the Dak injury in Dallas. The Giants have a chance right now to go 3-0 early. The offense looks good. Barkley looks like he's back. Defensively, they're sharp. They're stopping people. Big win for the Giants. As far as the Jets are concerned, I mean, maybe it's a big win for Saleh because he was talking so much the week before. But at the end of the day, they still gave up almost 200 yards rushing, man. And this is supposed to be a defensive team. Jacoby Brissett had over 40 yards rushing. He's the damn quarterback. So, I'm not buying too much into what the Jets have going on, and like you said, if Nick Chubb's not on his fantasy team, Nick Chubb sits down and the game's over. So they were giving you life. They're in a division that's very challenging. I'd be interested to see where this goes. It's hard. You see what just happened to Trey Lance, which we're going to talk about later on in the next segment. But you bring Wilson back when he's less than 90% or less than 100%. Flacco was playing good. I mean, they finally are leaving the other kid on the field. What's his name? Garrett Wilson, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thanks, coach. Leave him in the freaking game. We did draft him 10 overall. He should be playing. Blown coverage on the Corey Davis touchdown. They beat the Browns. You're supposed to beat the Browns, right?
Whoa. Yes, you're supposed to beat the Browns with Jacoby Brissett, but this team had Super Bowl aspirations.
They do, but they're also waiting for, their star player to come back. The Browns should have won this game. The Browns lost this game. Let's put it that way. But in the Browns losing this game, Joe Flacco played good. The offense played good. The defense couldn't stop anybody, and that's supposed to be what this guy's brought in here for. Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood. But, sticking to football, I alluded to it a few minutes ago. The 49ers, man, are dealing with a situation. Trey Lance, done for the season. Now, the quarterback broke his leg in the game against the Seahawks on Sunday. And Jimmy G came in, won the game for the 49ers to the love of all his teammates. So my question for you, Z, is what did the injury and the win mean for the future of Trey Lance?
It just delayed the inevitable. It delayed the inevitable.
So
they want him to have this team. They do.
So, I know. They're trying extremely hard to jam a triangle into a circle hole. But you're telling me that if this man gets to the Super Bowl with this team, win or lose, he's still out of a job next year?
Yeah.
Jeez.
They are that determined to prove they're right about Trey Lance. But the good thing for them is that with Jimmy Garoppolo now on the field, they may have just won their division.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know what they're capable of, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, they've gone to the conference championship game. They've gone to the Super Bowl. We know Jimmy's a winner. Jimmy came in and won the game. That's what Jimmy does. Jimmy wins. Jimmy wins when he plays. He doesn't stay healthy, but he wins when he plays. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think John Lynch and Shanahan need to look at each other and say, man, what are we doing? I mean, maybe this experiment should be over. Jimmy G has the locker room, and like I just spoke about, he can win. He gets them to the Super Bowl. He gets them to the conference championship. I mean, if they get to the Super Bowl again and maybe even win it, I just can't see them turn their eyes on this guy. Now granted, Trey Lance, we haven't really gotten to see him. The Chicago game he played was awful, and he just had a handful of snaps last week and he got hurt. You're telling me that this offseason they're going to be feeling comfortable letting Jimmy G walk out the door and have Trey Lance coming back from a foot injury? Really? They're not going to draft somebody? They're not going to have somebody in the wings waiting? Truly believe that?
I do. I really do, because they're dug in with this. There's a reason why they went up to get him. There is.
Did they go up to get him, though? Did they?
It's a reach.
Sure?
It's a reach.
Are we sure?
North Dakota State.
Are we sure they didn't want Zach Wilson? Are we sure?
That would be even worse.
Sure?
That'd be even worse.
This kid.
So, come on. If anything, a more comparable player to Jimmy G would be Mac Jones, right? In terms of arm talent, in terms of pocket presence, I would say that Mac Jones is more comparable to Jimmy G. They wanted something completely different. They want to be able to have a mobile quarterback, which is odd, and it's ironic considering the fact that Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator in Washington. Who was his quarterback? The ever mobile Kirk Cousins. When I think mobility, I think Kirk frickin' Cousins. And then he went to Atlanta, and who was his mobile quarterback down there? Matt Ryan. Matty Ice.
By the way, is Matt Ryan done?
He's tough.
Is he just done?
The Colts are done.
Or what?
The Colts are done.
I was just watching the highlights because I didn't get the chance to watch the Atlanta game. I was watching highlights of the game. It looked like Matt Ryan just throwing up punts. The other team is just spare catching his interceptions. It's like, dude, who are you throwing the ball to? I mean, listen, I know that your number one wide receiver is hurt. For crying out loud, throw a dart. At least throw a dart to the DB.
Right, but Michael Pittman. We'll see what Michael Pittman is. I'm still not sold on Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton was their number one.
Well, hold on. Michael Pittman's good. He ain't great.
Is he number one?
He's a number one on a running team. Yeah, sure. I mean, they're supposed to be a running team, and they're not even running. They're not even scoring. You got allegedly the best running back in the league, and you can't score a touchdown against the Jaguars, man.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what the hell's going on in Jacksonville? Isn't that like 2 straight losses for them too? Didn't they lose the final game of the season to Jacksonville?
That they did.
Horribly.
That they did. And they threw Carson Wentz under the bus and said it was Carson Wentz's fault. And then they went and got Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan laid the exact same egg that Carson Wentz did. But if we look at Jimmy, let's go back. Let's tie this back to San Francisco. 13-21, 154 and a touch. Right? That's a running team. Right? Jimmy G does. They don't ask Jimmy to do much. They ask him to guide the offense, to turn around and hand the ball off. Elijah Mitchell being out is going to affect them. So Jimmy's going to have to step up a little bit because Jeff Wilson is your current quarterback. He's their starting running back. So
that guy.
Yeah. So you really need to make Brandon Ayuk shine. You really need to make Deebo Samuel into this dual threat that Kyle Shanahan wanted to make him. You got to make Jennings. You got to make Ross Dwelly. These are guys that you're working with right now. And Jimmy has more than enough talent to make that happen. He's not washed like Matt Ryan is. Matt Ryan,
oh, geez.
They were, the whole thing about, Julio Jones. They got rid of Julio Jones. He's rebuilding. Okay, now he's on the Colts, right? Now there's some expectations, and the old Matt Ryan is back. So
195 yards, 3 interceptions. Jeez.
Yeah, that's bad. We call
Against
those
the
Joe Burrow numbers.
Against the Jaguars, man. It's the Jaguars.
Yeah. And how about Seattle? Seattle's bringing the boom back. Like their defense hits and hits hard. Like I'm impressed by their defense. Their offense, it's all right. Geno Smith 24-30, 197 and a pick. Not great, nothing to write home about.
Sounds like Geno Jet numbers.
Yeah, they can't rush the ball. They can't run the ball worth shit. They had 36 combined yards between four people.
Between 4 people.
Between 4 people. Rashad Penny had 15 yards. He had the most.
No, will Kittle help them? Will Kittle help the 49ers get on track, though?
Absolutely. George Kittle is a great safety valve,
George A.
He's the guy who makes the offense go. Deebo Samuel is going to be, he'll be the splashy player, but really Kittle is what's going to get you the yards. Kittle is what's going to matriculate you down the field because Jimmy G's not going deep. That's not what he does. No, but he wins games. For all the grill masters, green thumbers, home repair heroes, and DIY aficionados in the Richmond, Virginia area, if you're looking for a personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience, look no further than Thacker Ace Hardware in Colonial Heights, Virginia. Owner Don Rackley and his team of local experts have everything you need to tackle all of your home projects. I'm talking paints by Benjamin Moore and Clark in Kensington, power tools by Craftsman and Milwaukee, electrical, plumbing, hardware, and let's not miss the grills. Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, Blackstone, top shelf, amazing. And for all you green thumbers, their nursery department is fantastic. Give them a call today, 804-766-4223, or stop by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. That's 804-766-4223, or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. Thacker Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We're 2 weeks into the season now, and it certainly looks like we've got a bully. Buffalo bullied the Titans on Monday night, slapping them 41-7 in Buffalo. Buffalo's home opener. Diggs had 3 touchdown catches. Derrick Henry on the other side had 25 yards rushing. And this game was over at halftime. How good are the Bills, and who do you see giving them their first L?
Well, the Bills are very good because they beat the Rams, right?
But that's also, you're giving high praise to the Rams, who, if I'm not mistaken, almost lost this past weekend.
Yes, but here's the thing with the Rams. They are the defending champions, so you expect a little bit of a hangover. I expect them to be there at the end. The Titans, what the hell is going on in Tennessee? You have no passing game. Now you have no running game. And you have no defense. You were the number 1 seed, if I recall correctly. They were. I'm not mistaken that from last year.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. My feet haven't left the ground. Derrick Henry does not look anywhere near where he was last year. He got taken for a ride by the Giants. They sent him into orbit. And the Bills knocked him around, and he only got 25 yards. So, if this team is not going to have a rushing identity, another one, between 4 players, they got 80 yards, and 2 of those players were quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, if you're not going to establish your identity as a rushing team, you're screwed. You're screwed, because Treylon Burks, 47 yards on 4 catches. Robert Woods, 39 yards on 4 catches. Austin Hooper, 1 reception for 19 yards.
Good thing they got him.
Yeah. The only good thing about this performance from the Titans is that it was so putrid that they got to look at Malik Willis. And Willis isn't there yet. No. As far as how far the Bills can go, like, I got them winning the Super Bowl. So are they going to be this good every week? No, because they're actually going to face some stiff competition eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just tee this off and talk about the Titans for a hot second. I mean, they've got an interesting game this weekend because I'm pretty sure the Titans, the winless Titans, I believe, are playing the winless Raiders. So, and you know what? Early on, it looked like they were going to hang with them, right? I think it was 7-7 after the first quarter. And the Titans were playing solid defense. I mean, they weren't... They were stopping the run. They were having trouble with Diggs, which makes sense. But then, you know, it's 17-7 going into the half, and you're like, all right, it's fine. But then they didn't come out of the halftime. They got blitzed for 24 points in the third quarter. And it made Josh Allen look like Joe Montana. But listen, the Bills aren't going to go undefeated. We're going to talk about this later, but I think Miami is going to give them a good game this weekend. I don't think Miami's going to win, but I think Miami is going to have something for them. I think they're going to be ready. I would think their first loss is going to be in 2 weeks against the Ravens. The game's in Baltimore. You got to think that the Ravens are pissed off that they just lost to Miami. So you got to imagine that they're not going to come out and shit the bed, especially this is a team that they're going to eventually either play or have to be better than when it comes to the playoff time. So I got the Ravens, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Ravens fan. I'm saying it because I really truly believe that they're going to give them a hard time. But listen, end of the day, the Bills are serious. They look determined to score and to hit you. They also look like they're having fun. Josh is going out there this year. Josh Allen's going out there and having fun this year. Like, he knows, it seems like he's figured out how to win in this league. And if you're the Jets and if you're the Browns, you got to be sick to your stomach that you didn't take this guy. I mean, this guy's a leader. He's throwing dimes all over the field. Even Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore, they've got a talent, Lamar Jackson, but he's not like this guy. I mean, this guy's a pocket passer, but he could run, he could throw darts, and he's really embraced where he's playing.
Well, I'll even throw in the Giants. Would I rather have Josh Allen or Saquon Barkley? I'd rather have Josh Allen.
Yeah, because Barkley's likely gone after this year, no matter how good he does. You're not gonna be able to re-sign him. You're not gonna pay him top dollar to play for you. I mean, especially if you do well. If you do well this year, finish middle of the road. It's like, all right, we're gonna move on from this. This was a major mistake here. This whole draft class was awful. But yeah, I mean, I do think they're for real. Thinking they're gonna finish with maybe 3-4 losses. That's what it looks like to me. But
that sounds about right.
They're legit. And the thing about it is like they're playing good now. I mean, who's gonna go into Buffalo and beat Buffalo in December and November when it's cold up there?
Right. That's my question to you now. You have 101 yards, right? Josh Allen only accounted for 10 of those yards. 10. So if I'm looking at this, if I'm Ken Dorsey, have I finally found my running back in James Cook or this three-headed monster of Cook, Singletary, and Moss?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cook is the guy. I also like Zach Moss. Devin Singletary is kind of last on my list. They should in my opinion, they should evolve him into more of a goal line back. They should let James Cook take the early downs and let Zach Moss be the receiving threat. And Singletary should just get the goal line carries. It's unbelievable how deep this team is. I mean, they played this game without one of their best receivers. I mean, one of their best receivers was out. And you know, Dawson Knox, he played well. Everybody played well. They seem like a good collection of talent. I think their coach overthinks things sometimes, and he gets in the way, McDermott. But I am surprised at how well Dorsey's coaching this team, because I had some question marks about him. I wasn't sure if he was ready to take the reins and be the guy, but he's been in the league for a while, and it looks like he is. Are you in need of air care maintenance or service? I have the company for you. Air Care Technicians. They service the Westchester and Northern Bronx area and can help you with all your heating and cooling, maintenance, and service needs. Just give them a call at 914-315-1547. Again, that's 914-315-1547. Or shoot them an email at aircaretechnicians@gmail.com. These guys are the real deal as they are veteran-owned, licensed, and insured. Make sure to tell them that D&Z sent you.
Well, we're talking about the beginning of the year in football, but we're speaking of collections of talent. We had three, count them, three teams. Actually, four, because the Braves did it the other day. We have four teams that have clinched playoff spots. We have the Mets, we have the Braves, we have the Astros, and we have the Dodgers. So, of those four teams, who should teams fear the most? The champs? The champs once removed? The champs once removed before that? Or the Mets?
Or the Mets. For me, it's been the whole season. The Dodgers are a scary team. Even though they don't have Walker Buehler, man, especially with Kershaw's coming back. They've got Betts. They got Freeman. Freeman stole 12 bases this year. Come on, Trey Turner. If not now, then when? Because you're not going to be able to slow this team down. They're going to get DeGrom. You know it. I know it. They're going to get DeGrom. I could see a team like the Cardinals maybe tripping them up. But the Braves and Mets, they're going to be overmatched by the Dodgers. And I'll say it again. I'm a Braves fan, and I love Freddie Freeman. But listen, we had to let him go. The Braves are still making the playoffs. Olsen's numbers are not that far off from Freddie's. It was a positive mood financially. We're in a good situation for the next 8 years, and so is Freddie Freeman. So, whatever.
Well, you lost Albies again. You just had him 2 games, and now he's out with a fractured finger. But that means you get more Vaughn Grissom, so maybe that's a good thing if you're Atlanta. But the Dodgers are solid. The Dodgers' offense is great. Pitching is kind of no Bueller. Kershaw, yeah, he'll get him back, but playoff Kershaw is a real thing, man. That's pretty bad. Clayton Kershaw is not great in the playoffs. So
they gotta know that by now, right? It's like Roberts has been there for more than a minute, and he's got to be able to read it, know the signs, and be able to act accordingly if it's not going their way. But even if it's not going their way, that lineup could put up numbers, man. Their 1 through 9 is stellar.
Their 1 through 9 is stellar, but at the end of the day, you also need to take into account that you're going to be facing better pitching in the playoffs. Yes,
allegedly, right? Come on, you tell me, is there in the National League, is there really a starting rotation or a bullpen that you're afraid of?
The New York Mets starting rotation.
A healthy New York Mets starting
rotation. A healthy New York Mets starting rotation.
Yes,
absolutely.
Rotation. Yeah.
So, right. So you're looking at DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett, 1, 2, 3. That's as good as anybody in baseball, if not the best in baseball.
They can beat Bassett. They can beat Walker.
They can beat Walker. Walker's 4. Walker's your 4, right? Or even Carrasco. Carrasco's actually, I would use him out of the bullpen because he's experienced coming out of the bullpen with Cleveland. So that would be me. You're getting the Guardians. So long ago, they were a different Ian. Last time Carlos Carrasco was in the playoffs, pitching for them out of the pen.
But a different Ian.
They were a different Ian. So long ago, they were a different Ian.
Then they became a rollerblade team.
There you go. But I would put the Mets rotation up against the Dodgers. Absolutely, I would. My question is, the bullpen in between. Ottavino's going to implode. I already know that. I'm going into the postseason knowing that Adam Ottavino's going to shit his pants. Joely Rodriguez is not a great lefty out of the bullpen. Seth Lugo, up and down. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get from the Mets. The whole thing is, how do you get the ball to Edwin Diaz? If you can figure out how to get the ball to Edwin Diaz, the Mets can make a major run. They needed to get 1 or 2 bullpen arms, and they did not do it. Is Tyler McGill going to be that guy? He was a hell of a starter. if he can max out like Phil Hughes did when the Yankees won the World Series in 2009, they transitioned him from the rotation to the bullpen, and he became a lights out setup guy. Phil Hughes was lights out in that postseason. Now, granted, he ended up staying in the bullpen and eventually leaving to Minnesota, and then they finally realized, oh shit, he's not a starter after all. But
oh shit, he only has 2 pitches.
Ah, damn it!
And the other one doesn't break.
When I put one finger down and you try to throw as hard as you can, cement head. So
hey Phil, we looked at the tape. The slider, you don't have a slider.
I hate your curveball. You want to know why? Because the damn thing will curve. Oh my god! But you know what? The offense with the Mets, like when it's rolling, it's great. But when it's not on, it's death. It is death. So
yeah, but couldn't that be said about every team? I mean, there's not a team that you can't say like, oh, when they're on, and when they're off, it's awful. I mean, you can say that about every team. The issue with the Mets is it's really simple here. It's like you had a 10-game lead on the Braves, you blew that lead, and you haven't been able to get out of the grips of the Braves over the last 6 weeks. And over the last 6 weeks, the Braves have been terrible. They lost their left fielder. They lost their second baseman. Their one of their starting pitchers never came back, Soroka. And they haven't been able to clear it. And granted, they've had injuries and issues of their own. They have Scherzer, the oblique. They've got Nimmo got hurt now. But to me, the Dodgers have been showing cruise control. And
that could be a problem, though.
Could be, but yeah, I think you have enough guys there that are hungry, right? Like Trey Turner's one of their best players. He's hungry, you know. And then I think, and Freddie Freeman's gonna win a batting title this year. He's playing out of his mind. Mookie Betts is probably one of the best players in Major League Baseball. There's no chink in their armor. That's why, in my opinion, the only way that they don't get to the World Series is if they get tripped up like the Cardinals. Because the Cardinals are good. I don't want to play the Cardinals. Do you want to play the Cardinals?
No.
I'm a Braves fan. I don't want to play the Cardinals. I want no part of the Cardinals. I don't want them in a playing game. I don't want them in a 4-game series. I don't want to play the Cardinals. I don't want to see any of those guys. Goldsmith and Arenado,
no.
Those 2 guys are the top MVP vote getters in the National League. They have 2.
Jordan Montgomery's become fucking young.
Yeah, Jordan Montgomery's on a mission, man. He's on a mission. Did Jack Flaherty ever even come back? I don't think that guy came back yet.
No. But, you know.
Then they got Carpenter. And then Carpenter's just throwing. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, Waino. Yeah, Wainwright.
Wainwright. It's like, this is ridiculous. I don't want no part of that. Part of it.
It's an even year, so the Cardinals have a shot. It's an even year. But we have not even mentioned the Astros. Like we're hyper focused on the National League, and we haven't even mentioned the Astros or the Yankees. The Yankees still haven't clinched yet, but the Astros, how good can they be with a healthy Verlander? Because he's back. So, is this speaking of cruise control? Is this on cruise control? Is this a fait accompli that the Astros are going to be there?
No, the Astros. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's going to be like Dodgers, Astros. Astros have a lot to prove because they want to prove that their championship wasn't tainted. And Yordan Alvarez is playing out of his mind. Mm-hmm. It's not a doubt at how good the Astros are in the American League, and who's going to really challenge them. I don't buy into the Yankees. And, everyone's making a big thing. Yeah, Aaron Judge. That's incredible what he's done, but they also are a terrible team. They're a terrible team. They blew their huge lead that they had, and you get into the playoffs and you face some real pitching. They're teeing off against the Pirates now, who are all waiting for their vacation in a month.
The Yankees are so friggin' out of sorts that they have a second baseman playing left field. That's all you need to know. The immortal Aaron Hicks was catcalled off the field to the chant of Joey Gallo. That's how bad it is in the Bronx right now, that Joey Gallo is getting positive cheers, and he's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody there's outside of Judge and Stanton. I mean, Mayhew's out.
Rizzo's back.
Rizzo's a 240 hitter. And he leads off for them occasionally, which is even weird. They finally got the center fielder from the Cardinals to start playing, but I'm not. The Astros are just they're really good.
Looking to break into broadcast media, web development, social media marketing, or filmmaking? Then CSB is the program for you. From day one, you'll be trained hands-on by industry pros like friend of the show Rob Adams, whose goal is to get you trained and get you working in months, not years. CSB offers 8 and 16-week programs in small class sizes designed to give you the personalized attention you need. If you can make it in person, there are 5 East Coast locations. If you can't, they offer virtual classes too. How great is that? And once you graduate, you become part of the alumni network that gets you to the front of the line. Trust me, I'm an alum myself. Go to gocsb.com today, request more info, set up a studio tour, and who knows, you may very well be on your way to a career in broadcast media. That's gocsb.com and tell them Z sent you. gocsb.com.
Moving over to basketball, the NBA is getting rid of their one and done rule starting with the 2023 season. Big deal, little deal, and no deal.
It's a little deal. I'm going to go with that. Supposedly, this draft class that would be affected by the one and done rule is really good. They're really talented, but at the same time, it's like they're 18-year-old kids. You know, they're 18 and 19-year-old kids. You can't really project how good they're going to be because they still haven't grown into their body yet. You don't grow fully until the age of 25. So you have 7 years to figure out these guys are actually fucking good. Now, the outliers are Kobe. The outliers are KG. The outliers are Tracy McGrady. Because for every one of them, you have a Jonathan Bender and an Andrew Bynum. So I want you folks to listen to me. I want you to remember this. Kobe was an outlier. It's not going to be that everybody turns into Kobe. If anything, this further destroys college basketball because now guys are going to go to the NBA again. Now, you'll get the guys who are going to stay and develop, and then they'll take the mantle, right? But it definitely impacts the star power of college basketball. This will impact the G League because you'll have an influx of talent. So maybe the Bynums and the Benders and the guys that aren't on that tier, on that superstar tier, maybe they'll get seasoning in lieu of college and their game will improve. But I don't see it as a positive. And the NBA product is garbage as it is.
Yeah, but why do you think it's a little deal then?
I think it's a little deal because I don't think it's going to change anything. The product is still going to be garbage.
Yeah, I think it's going to get worse. I think the process. Yeah, I think it's a huge. I think it's a huge deal. I think it's a massive deal because it affects so many people in so many parts of basketball, right? I mean, you're going to get more people trying to come into the league that are not ready to enter the NBA, right?
Right.
Then you're going to have less players that are going to be developing in college, so the college game's going to go to shit, right? Then you're going to have more players go to the G League because they're going to fail out of the NBA. I don't know where you're going to pull these players. And then you're going to have more players going to play overseas. The only thing that could possibly help fight this is, being able to cash in on your name, image, and likeness. That might get some guys to stay because at least you're gonna get decent money to hang around. But you're talking about like Calipari. What is he gonna do? I mean, that's what he specializes in, getting ones and dones. And Duke even moved over to that model. So I don't know. Maybe it's gonna open things up for college basketball, but you're gonna get to see less players are gonna get exposed to college basketball. It's gonna be more of getting to the pros to play. And I think this is terrible. I think it's terrible basketball. I think it's gonna hurt immensely. I think it's a massive deal. I don't know what the angle is here, but whatever.
I think the only thing that could possibly come of this is an expansion of the G League to the point where it's actually an affiliated hear me out, where it'll be an affiliated minor league system, kind of like what you have in baseball. You'll have your A, AA, AAA. You'll have so many teams now that you'll have exclusive affiliates, and you'll have one per team, assigned to one per team, and then you'll be able to call up and send down players as you go. So it may be a modification as far as that goes, and they might even create another sub league. Like, there might be so many people who go into this that they'll be forced to create even more opportunity in a third lesser league. So I can definitely see something like that happen, especially if they're trying to keep players off the overseas market, because you want to keep your talent local. You absolutely want to, especially if you can groom them. You want to keep them local, and you really want to keep them stateside. So that's the goal. That should be the goal. College is going to die a grisly death anyway, so it's only a matter of time. Name, image, and likeness rights only delay the inevitable, in my opinion.
Inevitable.
It's inevitable that the NCAA is going to die. Like that, it's only, it's on life support as it is. There was just that little bit of hope, that little gasp with the NILs, but ultimately, like, in the short term, like, it's going to be players who aren't ready for prime time. You're going to have players who just aren't developed physically, and it's just going to be Drek on top of Drek on top of Drek.
You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. The simplest occasion is a party. Westchester Pop Stars, located in New Rochelle, New York, offers balloon styling and decor for all life's events. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, showers, school and corporate events, store openings, or just because. Westchester Pop Stars takes balloons and shapes them into works of art, creating decorative installations for your special occasions. No event is too big or too small, and their custom personalization service is top-notch. Westchester Pop Stars is a private studio, quickly expanding. In-person consultation is by appointment only. Send an email to westchesterpopstars@gmail.com for more information or to schedule an appointment. No need to hire an event stylist. All you need is balloons. Currently servicing Westchester, Putnam, New York City, and Connecticut. To find Westchester Pop Stars, search for them on Instagram, Facebook, or Google.
The choice is yours. Swipe left or swipe right. All right, boys and girls, for all you online dating fans, we have a statement. And it's either swipe left or swipe right. Swipe left or swipe right. Number one, Tua Tagovailoa is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, to this point, his career has been up and down, but I'm going to swipe right on this. I think he plays well this weekend after coming off of his 6-touchdown impressive performance against the Ravens. I think he's going to play Buffalo. Buffalo's going to Miami, and I think he's going to play well. I'm going to swipe right on Tua.
I am begrudgingly swiping right on Tua. And
now he's going to play awful.
Precisely. That's my point. Like, I'm not sold. I'm begrudgingly swiping right based on what I saw him do against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, if you look at his numbers, through 2 games, 71.1% completion, which is phenomenal. 739 yards, which is phenomenal. I believe it leads the league. And 7 passing touchdowns, which is phenomenal. So I will give credit where credit is due. However, I need to see more. I want to see more. I want to make sure that he's doing it against higher echelon teams, he's going to get the test. This weekend is the test. He's got the Buffalo Bills. If he can do that and shred the Bills, then okay, like he's up there. But think about it. There are 32 starting quarterbacks in this league. How many of them are actually good? 10? 11? 11 out of 32? Pretty safe. I would say it's a pretty safe bet. Can Tua be in that top 11? Probably.
Well, just so you know, the top 3 passing leaders through 2 weeks of the season is Tua, Wentz, and Flacco.
Yeah, well, we'll see what that
You
has.
have now entered the twilight zone.
Yeah, what year is it? What year is it? Unfriggin' believe. Carson, well, we're just waiting on that. That's great. All those empty passing yards. That's wonderful. Good job. Excellent job, Carson. Swipe left or swipe right. Number 2, Jalen Hurts as the best former Alabama QB in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he's up against Tua and Mac Jones. I'm swiping right on him. He's playing well right now. I mean, he's got a really good offensive line that helps him. They brought over A.J. Brown, who's crushing it for them. He's making good decisions down the field. He's got precision passing, and he's running the football and not turning it over. So yeah, I'm swiping right on Jalen Hurts.
I'm swiping right on Jalen Hurts as well. I think he is the best well-rounded quarterback right now because for pure pocket presence, you're talking about Mac Jones. However, Mac Jones is on a team that is so confused that I don't know if he knows if he's coming or going. Tua, this could very well be a flash in the pan. We don't know yet. Jalen Hurts is built for success. He appears to have bettered in the pocket, 576 yards and 1 touchdown this year so far. He's rushing the ball. He's doing great. Now, the question is Sirianni going to be able to maximize this for the long haul? And I think it's possible that he definitely could do that. But he's a good combination of both Mac Jones and Tua Tagovailoa. So he is the most evolved form of all 3. So Jalen Hurts scares me as a Giant fan. He scares me kind of almost like Donovan McNabb used to scare me. Like I see there's a little bit of Donovan McNabb there, but I think he has a stronger arm. And that could spell disaster for most teams in the NFC East. Swipe left or swipe right. Number 3, Mac Jones and the Patriots will threaten the Dolphins and the Bills for the best team in the AFC East.
Yeah, I'm swiping left on this one. I just don't see it. I haven't seen anything from the Patriots so far that would make me think they're going to threaten anyone. Like Devontae Parker is non-existent. He has not gotten going. Hunter Henry had 1 target in the last game. Like, he's supposed to be the guy in the red zone. He's supposed to be, like, lighting it up. They're just not any good right now.
I'm swiping left on the Patriots as well. What have we not said? Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, a special teams guy and a defensive coordinator, are your co-offensive coordinator. Well, actually, they aren't their co-offensive coordinators because they don't have titles. So, like, that is a little bit odd. Devontae Parker's not great. Jacoby Myers is hurt. Damian Harris is hurt. And Ramondre Stevenson is probably going to get some burn. But, the offensive line isn't great. Mac Jones looked like he was getting hammered. Now, against the Steelers, there was a better performance, it was a bounce-back performance, but they still only won by 3. So, I'm still not sold. Maybe it's a little bit of rope-a-dope on Bill's part. Maybe Coach Belichick has a little something up his sleeve. But, we're going to see what Miami's made of. Towards the end of the year, can they still keep running the offense the way they're running this offense? Can the Bills finally establish a running game? Cook looks good, but is he in it for the long haul? I don't know. We've been trying to determine who the Bills running back is for years. I think the last good one was Thurman Thomas. So we're working on it. It's a work in progress, and it's a work in progress for the Patriots too. But if they figure it out, I wouldn't put it past them. Not one bit. But as presently constituted with the mess that's going on right now, I just don't see it. Swipe left.
Can you take the championship from DNZ? This year, you can play our football pick'em on CBS Sports and compete against us in the option every week. Check the link in our Instagram bio, Fade Route Podcast, for all the details and to sign up. Then tune into the Fade Route every week until the Super Bowl for updates and standings. Bring it on.
The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award. All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It is time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. We have a poll on our Twitter page at FadeRouteDNZ. You go to that poll and you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of that poll takes home the coveted ass trophy and gets a mention on this here show. And do you know who took home the ass last week, D?
I don't.
One Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
That guy.
That guy. At this point, I think we might want to just put his face on the trophy and call it a day. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for this week, D?
All right, first up, I've got the Bengals O-line. 13 sacks in 2 weeks. Jonah Williams, Cordell Volson, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, and Lyle Collins. You guys are going to get Joe Burrow killed. Bengals O-line, you are my alleged superstars of the week. Number 2, Anthony Edwards. You're a young star in this league. Last week, you used anti-gay comments while describing a group of people standing on a sidewalk during a video posted on your Instagram or your social media story. You got to be smarter than that. I know you're 21 years old, but Anthony Edwards, you looked up to by a lot of kids. Can't be saying that now in this time. Anthony Edwards, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And last one is Hunter Renfrow. You fumbled twice in 3 plays in the Raiders' overtime loss to the Cardinals on Sunday. The second fumble was taken to the house, which ended the game. Won the Cardinals the game in overtime. Hunter Renfrow, former national champ. You are my alleged superstar of the week. Z, what do you got?
All good choices. Man, you're tough on Hunter Renfrow, man. Dude got a concussion. Insult
I
to
don't
injury.
give a shit. Hold on to the damn ball.
Well, speaking of shit, Dan Orlovsky for ripping. I can't even get this story out straight. For ripping a fart on Monday Night Football. Listen closely, boys and girls. Dan Orlovsky was trying to hold in his sneeze, and when he did so, he accidentally ripped a fart. I kid you not. I can't even say it without bursting into laughter. That is the second most embarrassing thing Dan Orlovsky's ever done in a football stadium. The first was when he ran out the back of the end zone like a coward. Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky, wrong day to sample the Buffalo Wings. You are my alleged superstar of the week. Justin Fields, for taking on the fans after the Bears' loss against the Packers.
Saw that.
He tried to walk it back. He said, there's this thing I said on Sunday after the game where I said the fans don't put in work. First off, I was frustrated after the game. Number one, I didn't want to talk to you guys. So it's the media's fault. I wasn't in the mood to come and talk to you guys. So I should have done a better job of explaining what I meant by that. Dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't take on the fans. Don't take on the media. You're not going to win those battles. Ever. Ever. Justin Fields, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Nick Chubb, for Ahmad Bradshawing at the end of the Browns-Jets game, giving the Jets time and opportunity to take the win, when a first down would have sealed the victory. Nick Chubb, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And I have a bonus one. Fans. That's right, fans. Specifically in Vegas and in Cleveland.
Cleveland
Cleveland does not rock in this case. Vegas fan, got caught swiping at Kyler Murray's face after the Raiders' horrific overtime loss to the Cardinals. And the Browns fans, one Brown fan in particular, chucked a bottle at owner Jimmy Haslam after their embarrassing loss to the Jets. So this kind of behavior is never okay. Regardless of how frustrated you are, how bad your team is, you cannot do that. This is why we can't have nice things, or things in general. Fans, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think I've said my piece. I think you've said your piece. Now, folks, go to the Twitter page at FadeRouteDNZ and vote, and vote, and vote, and vote, and for our nominees. Just do better, boys. Just do better. Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today for all your Fade Route merch needs. I'm talking tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like yoga pants, we got those too. Like some cool accessories, we got those too. And we're not done yet. We have so much more planned for you, but check out what we have today at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Let's run the option and give you our picks for the week. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the option week 3. And you can still join our option CBS Pick'em League. Just follow the link in our Instagram bio and it'll take you right there. Congratulations to Ready, Willing, and Dayball. This week, you took home the victory. However, on the season, D and I are still tied at the top. Who you got for this week, D? Let's see what we can do. Thursday night, Prime Video. Steelers at Browns. And are we actually going to see the entire game this week?
I'm taking the Steelers, mainly because I have the tight end on their team. So I'm taking the Steelers.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Mitch is already making a play to go back to the bench. Like, it's amazing. Really 3 weeks in. This is tough. You know what? I think the Browns they're gonna learn from Sunday, and I think they're gonna run the ball down the Steelers' throat, especially with TJ Watt not there. I'm gonna go with the Browns. Sunday. The 1-1 Saints at the 0-2 Carolina Panthers.
Oh, the Saints are gonna go marching in. I'm taking the Saints.
This is tough. They were so banged up last week. Kamara didn't play. Jameis has multiple fractures, apparently. What the hell is going on in New Orleans? Like, this might be the perfect time for the Panthers to get right. I'm going to go with the Panthers at home. The 0-1-1 Houston Texans go into Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears.
I actually wish I could watch this game. I bet it's going to be pretty good. I'm taking the Texans. I believe in what they got going on down there.
Dare I say, a Lovie Smith revenge game? I'm going with the Texans, too. I like what they're doing. Pierce is a good running back. Long neck, he's not a bad quarterback. He's got Brandon Cooks. He's got O.J. Howard. He's got weapons around him. They just got to keep Justin Fields in check. But after watching the Packers game, it's not that hard. 2-0 Chiefs at the 0-1-1 Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, the Chiefs.
How about them Chiefs? Colts, are they the most disappointing team in the league, or will we reserve that for the Tennessee Titans?
It's tough to say right now. I'd say the Colts. Matt Ryan looks god awful.
Yeah, it's been bad. It's been atrocious. And once again, proving our point that Matt Ryan is not a great quarterback.
Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice. The 2-0 Bills go into Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins.
I think Miami puts up a nice fight, but I'm still going to take the Bills.
This is interesting, right? It's at home. It's at home for Miami. That's a home field. That's a definite home field advantage.
Last time the Bills played in Miami, they won 35-0.
Good point. Apparently, that home field advantage only works against the Patriots.
Patriots are awful down there. Awful.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins keep it close, but the Bills will come out on top at the end by a field goal. Lions and Vikings. This is way more intriguing than it needs to be.
I'm going to take the Vikings. I think they get their ish together and play better this week.
Well, Kirk Cousins showed who Kirk Cousins is. I like what the Lions are doing. Like they're about their business. DeAndre Swift is doing well. Jared Goff is solid. He's solid. He had a respectable game. I'm going to take the Lions. And I guess you would call that an upset. The 1-1 Ravens at the 1-1 New England Patriots.
No, not Patriots. Change my mind. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know if that secondary is going to be able to hang with guys like Bateman and Duvernay. They're very fast. They're very fast. And he proved me right. He returned a kick for a touchdown. So, yeah, he's a kick returner. So, it's going to be tough. Ramondre Stevenson is going to go off, but I like the Ravens in this close game. The 0-2 Bengals at the 1-1 Jets.
I'm going to take the Jets. They beat the Bengals last year. I think they'll beat them again this year. The Bengals can't stop anybody.
Jets don't really have much of a pass rush, though. That's the one thing. I'm not sure about this. Like maybe C.J. Mosley will get in. Maybe Quinnen Williams. That's about it. I really the strength of the Jets' defense is its secondary. It's a secondary. It's Sauce.
That guy.
So we'll see if Sauce, if he's on Jamar Chase, that is going to be an intriguing matchup. For the sake of argument, I'll take the Bengals, but I have no confidence in that. I really don't, based on the fact that
you may change it in the next couple of days.
No, I'm a man of my word. I am putting this on air. I'm going to stick with the Bengals. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word, ladies and gentlemen. My only thing is Joe Burrow going to get killed during this game? Because there's 13 sacks already. How many is too many? We're going to find out. The 0-2 Las Vegas Raiders go into Tennessee to take on the 0-2 Titans. Somebody's O's got to go.
Yeah, I gotta imagine the Titans are going to win this game.
The Raiders, it was such a heartbreaking game. Like, they had the game won. Horrible defensive play. A hold in the end zone. Leads to Kyler Murray running around like a toddler who had his parents' phone. That was I forget. There was a nice little scouting report on him and his running ability. This is hard because the Titans are so underachieving and they're so lackluster. I'm gonna go with the Raiders, and I think Tannehill's benched by the half, and Malik Willis is gonna get a start sooner than later. Malik Willis is gonna be in. The 2-0 Eagles at the 1-1 Commanders.
The Eagles.
Not buying into the Carson Wentz revenge game? Nah, me neither.
Nah.
Me neither. Eagles route. Fly, Eagles fly. All over the counties. We're into the 4 o'clock hour, ladies and gentlemen. The 1-1 Jacksonville Jaguars go into LA to take on, but not San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Keep in mind, Herbert's hurt in this game, but I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Jags. If Herbert's hurt, that can be exploited. The Jags look good. Christian Kirk looks good. It looks like they've gotten something going there. And right now, in that division, they're in the driver's seat at 1-1. 500 may win you this division. Just one game over 500 or one game below 500 might win this division currently because it's that fucking bad. The Rams, 425, go into Arizona to take on the 1-1 Cardinals.
Rams.
It's fool's gold with the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Rams as well. The 0-2 Falcons go into Seattle at Lumen Field to take on the 1-1 Seahawks.
I'm going to take the Seahawks.
This is tough.
Drake London bowling out, though.
Yeah. Well,
he's their guy. He leads the league. He leads the team in targets. He's their guy. They're not even trying to get Pitts involved. Pitts, I think, is 5 targets in 2 games.
Yeah, Arthur Smith taking a shot at fantasy football owners. I forgot about that one. But Seahawks are bringing the boom back, and I have to think that that's going to be enough for Geno Smith to do his thing because the Falcons' defense is putrid. I'm going to take the Seahawks as well. Putrid. 425, Packers at Bucks.
Bucks.
This is different. This is difficult. Like, Mike Evans isn't going to play because of the suspension. He's got suspended for 1 game for taking a shot at Marcus Lattimore. And apparently Bruce Arians is on double secret probation because he was going nuts on the sideline. So last week was a very contentious game. The Bucks are too talented. Aaron Rodgers might try and go toe-to-toe, but we've seen him go toe-to-toe with that defense, and it never ends well for him. The Bucks also signed Cole Beasley, so I'm interested to see, what is he going to play, and if he plays, what shape is he in? That's going to be an interesting matchup for me. The Sunday night game, a whole new wrinkle now. The 1-1 Niners go into the Mile High to take on Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos.
49ers.
Not even close. Niners win. Russ gets cooked. And your Monday night delight from Giant Stadium. That's right, Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You got the 1-1 Cowboys against my 2-0 New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants. I believe in what they got going on. 3-0.
Giants go 3-0. You heard it here first. Giants go 3-0. They can stifle the run. My only concern is Daniel Jones. That's my only concern. If Trayvon Diggs has a pick, maybe 2, the Cowboys can swing it their way. But I think Saquon's going to have a day, and it's going to be probably a 10-point win for the Giants. That sounds about right, especially with Graham Gano, the special teams player of the week.
This has been the Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast Wednesday nights on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. Until next time, stay faded, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route, but we'll talk to you next week. If you want to get on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG @FadeRoutePodcast. Drop us a DM on Twitter @FadeRouteDNZ. Comment on our YouTube channel, The Fade Route with DNZ. Questions, comments, picks, segment suggestions, you name it, we want to hear from you. Get at us, in crowd. Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.